there's even anyone up. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a very late, early morning edition of the Missing Wolves postgame podcast live stream thing. I'm Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage. Ryan Eichten's here, fresh off of a recording of his own for, Two Words, Wolves Pod, and Canis Hoopus. Ryan, how's it going, man?
I'm doing okay. Like you said, late at night. What's the time? 1:17.
1:17.
Lovely. It's going to be with my 3-year-old. How many Toy Story movies can we get through while Dad's passed out on the couch with no sleep? That's what Saturday's going to look like before our beautiful Sunday Mother's Day for Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, my Saturday will be gallivanting around the Twin Cities on call before going to a Lynx game and hopefully watching them actually win a basketball season opener tomorrow. Got moved. It was supposed to be Sunday on Mother's Day, got moved to tomorrow. But we do have a Wolves game to talk about. Wolves lose 115-108 to the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, I guess just the topic of it is like, how many shots can the Wolves miss in a game?
To start the game, 12. That's where they started. I thought that was they're playing a 60-win team without one of their starting players, and the replacement for that for Dante is Ayo, who's not 100%. And so it's like they went down 18-3, 11-1 after missing the first 12 shots of the game. But it's just like their margin of error is so thin in these games, in this series, that you're down 15 points to start the game. If that's 7, they probably win this game. But it was 15, and I guess I'm struggling to kind of make the differential between bad process, bad shot selection, all that stuff, and just like missing open shots. I kind of go with the former, where I don't think they generated enough open looks. I don't think they pushed the pace enough. I don't think they didn't executed enough down the stretch of the game to win this one, while admitting, obviously, like, I thought Jaden got okay-ish looks, certainly better than like the 5 of 22 he ends up with.
Yeah, I mean, the first quarter, it felt like they were, I don't want to say like lost, but it just felt like there wasn't a lot of flow with their offense. Obviously, when you're missing that many shots, like, guys start to, I think, freak out a little bit. Until Ant kind of just took over the first quarter, which that was the fun part is, Ant 13 points and 10 and a half minutes in the first quarter looked great, looked back to normal. TJ comes in, they go plus 10 in his 4 minutes, looked great. And then it's off to the races. But like, it was just a weird game where like Jaden was getting to his spots and just bricking shots. Ayo bricked a couple tough ones, especially like that one in the fourth quarter. He ends up going 1 for 4 from 3 for 8 from 3. Jaden also goes 3 of 8 from 3. Ant goes 3 of 9 from 3. Felt like there was quite a bit of settling, which, after the game, I think Dane asked Chris and Ayo of just like the drive and kick being the solution. And like, that isn't the solution, but you got to be able to hit your shots, which just, it didn't happen all night for them, which that's kind of the disappointing part for me is like, if they do make a couple of those threes, it's probably ends up unfolding a different way. But yeah, I mean, when no one on your team other than Naz Reid is really effective from 3, it's just tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see one comment there talks about Julius and Jaden shooting, but if you throw Ant in there too, their 3 best offensive players, or maybe most important is a better word, were 20 of 60 in this game.
It's not ideal.
It's just not, that's not good enough. And there's 6 made 3-pointers in there to bump up the effective field goal percentage or whatever, but like, they just didn't get enough shot making. And with any game where you shoot poorly, you can probably pick out like average, law of averages, all that crap. I didn't think like that was I just didn't think they generated enough good offense. And a lot of that is, I mean, just this is like an all-timer game from Wemby.
Yeah.
Or at least he's 22, I think. Like
one of the better games of his career.
Like I think with this guy, the ceiling of Victor Wembanyama is the greatest player to ever touch a basketball.
Yeah.
That is the ceiling of this guy. And I said it on my stuff a lot where he has a lot of holes in his offensive game.
Yeah.
He's like weirdly not bad offensive player, but like for a 7'6" dude that is so coordinated, like I looked it up. They only posted him up 3.5 times a game during the regular season.
Yeah.
Like
if he's like a face-up big, which is wild.
I personally like, this is like Shaq's thing or whatever, like get him in the paint, if you get him more reps with like Kareem or Hakeem or like even like Kevin McHale to do the Minnesota reference, like that's the type of player I think he could be, or at least. So he's just awesome, and he's affecting everything the Wolves want to do offensively. And they talked a big game after game one about like continuing to attack him, right?
Mm-hmm. They did not do that tonight.
In either of these first two games, they just have not done that, and it makes sense.
I will add on to that. Like, Wemby is kind of a limited offensive player at this point. Like, I just think he is. Like, he hasn't
22.
figured it out yet. Like,
and he will.
26-year-old Wembanyama is going to be insane. 29-year-old Wembanyama is going to be even more insane. Like, all of this being said, he drew 11 fouls and had an 84% true shooting. Like, that's insane. That's literally insane. And it wasn't from like, you can pick out a couple plays, I'm sure, where it's like, Wemby had that like one spin move layup where he just kind of like dusted people. He had another like put back easy layup at one point, but like a lot of his shots were like contested, just ridiculous. Like, he's just able to like use his limbs and lengths to just get these shots off that are insane. Like the one that I'm sure is going to be on every ESPN graphic is his kind of like turnaround shot over Gobert. And it's, I don't know what you do to stop that. Like,
that one,
you just need to double or triple them every possession. And the Spurs are created in a way where they just have a bunch of guys that can catch the ball and drive, which credit to the Wolves, honestly, for holding them to 115. Like, I don't know what you do. Do you have like moving forward? Like, that's the biggest issue with me is like, they had the bad Wemby game in game one
and they won.
And I don't think he's going to have another bad game.
Just leave the Julius needs to be dealt up there the entire game, the entire show. Leave that there. I think the two things they need to do offensively, because I don't know if you want to talk about like the Rudy on versus Rudy off when Wemby's on the court, because like that's just such a big thing. Like it's really not a slight to Gobert. It's just like you can't play even a single non-shooter against this Spurs team because Wembanyama just parks it near the rim. But I think the Wolves need to do two things. They need to push the pace at every single opportunity, and that's a problem because they're
slow. Let's just call it what it is.
Well, especially
their two best players are not
and the guys that
players.
Iowa isn't 100%. Bones has been played off of this series, and their best player Ant that's not the game he wants to play.
Yep,
fair or not. And then I think just bombing threes. I think it was a mistake that they got 5 fouls on Wemby and never really attacked him at the rim at that point in the game. But I just think you got to bomb threes, and that without Dante, they might just like that might not be a viable strategy. And I think the Spurs brought true to the ball when Ant had the ball. Like
the second he crossed.
Yeah, the second he crossed half court. And it's a good example of where they're missing Dante, because in game 2, Dante hits what ends up being the dagger 3-pointer where the Nuggets bring 2 and Ant just has to make the most simple pass over to Dante, who hits an open 3-pointer to, I think they go from up 1 to up 4 and clear the game from there.
And I will say credit to Ant. Like, he did make a lot of the right reads today. It's just no one. I mean, how many times did Ant make the right read? The ball gets swung and then just Nas mishandles a pass and then has to like drive in, or Jaden double clutches and then doesn't get the shot off in time, or Julius is just launching it from the corner, which like Julius
He was so bad, man.
It was not a good Julius game.
Just
We can
terrible.
get into that. That might have been the worst Julius playoff game he's had in a Wolves uniform. But like, Ant wasn't really the issue tonight. He made the right reads. It was just the other guys either bricking shots or not making it. Pack mentality brings up, do you bench Rudy start? You can't bench Rudy. I would say you put Rudy in for 5 minutes and then pull him and then just match him with Cornette and hope that works. I don't think Rudy's we saw it last year in the playoffs. Like Rudy, if you play him 25 minutes, it's not the end of the world. I think tonight was especially bad because Nas and Julius were just in foul trouble the entire game. So they couldn't really do anything. I will say, like, credit to Finch. Like, he went to it was either Randall or Reed, one of them at center, and then it was like Jaden, TJ, Io, and Ant lineup that had some good success. But my guess is if you got truth serum in anyone on the Wolves, Rudy playing 30+ minutes tonight was not the plan.
Yeah, I just think this Spurs are kind of hammering home all of the warts from the Timberwolves regular season, and really this entire Gobert era. The Wolves have not been able to generate enough offense with Gobert on the court against any opponent to be at like a championship level. They can win playoff series, and they have. And Rudy's been a gigantic part of that, and he was a legacy defining series last round against Denver. He was sensational, and it's not his fault. I more lay this at the feet of everyone else aside from Rudy.
Yeah,
because I haven't really seen like the game 2. There's a little bit of it, like the bobbles, the missed catches on the pass, but like the Wolves with a one non-shooter on the court just have not been able to find consistent offense with Rudy on the court. And this is the ultimate example of that, because Wembanyama is probably going to go down as like the greatest. Here's a good example. After whatever game it was where Rudy didn't make the top 3 for the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Rudy was complaining, not that he didn't win the award, that he was complaining that he didn't get top 3. Why? Because he was not arguing that he had a better defensive season than Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
He was arguing that he had a better defensive season than Chet and Thompson.
Which arguably, yeah,
that's fine.
I would agree with him.
I don't disagree. It's just more that like that's the type of player Wemby is, and those guys are relatively close. Like they have obviously a French connection there. It's a lot of it's the inconsistencies that they showed the entire regular season that they never figured out. And a good example I thought was game 2. Not that they lost, that they didn't mean to punt it, but they ended up punting the game 2.
Well, it felt like it was before they went to San Antonio. It was, we need to take one in San Antonio. And then they took one in San Antonio, and they were happy to just leave game 2 in San Antonio, and that just, you can't do that in the playoffs.
You can't do that in the playoffs against a team that your margin of error is already tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the Wolves are far from the only team that would have a dud game 2 and get blown. Like they're not like, that's just the standard. But like, I think a good example of what this team has missed this season and last was, what did they do 2 years ago out in Denver? They won both games on the road without Gobert, Gobert missed games 2 of the Denver series with the birth of his child. And I already alluded to the Heat Pack game from Murray. Like, I just think like, it's not that they lost game. If they had lost game 2, like they lost tonight in a similar fashion, or even if like Spurs score an extra 5, 6, 7 points and it's kind of over by the last 5 minutes, like that's fine. But like the fact that they mentally got into that game and never gave them the way they entered that game, they never gave themselves a shot to win the game. And obviously, if you score an extra couple points tonight and you're up 2-1, and that like your margin of error is so thin, and I just kind of keep coming back to the habits you build. I really believe this. The habits you build during the regular season are the type of team you'll be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And the Wolves, the series is not over. They can still win.
Well, and teams do get blown out. Like I'm just bringing up like playoff this round. Like
They
New
beat
York
OKC
beats,
by 50 last season.
right? Like New York beats Philadelphia by like 39. I don't think like the blowout is necessarily the issue, except for like it's the mentality. It's the like this has been the team that they have been all season. I mean, they haven't changed. It's the same vibe in the locker room. It's the same players. It's the same everything. And you just like, if you want to win a championship, you got to be more consistent, which that's the reality of the Wolves, right? Like this isn't a Western Conference Finals is awesome, but it isn't the expectation when you've been there twice. The expectations continue to grow, and like they can still win the series. I'm not willing to count them out yet, but like even if they get past the Spurs, can they do it again against Oklahoma City and then again against whoever comes out of the East, especially like already banged up? It's just weird. Also, Matt, hi, how's it going, man? Appreciate you popping in. A couple of people have brought up the Julius Randle of it all. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Julius. Well, hello. Thank you, live stream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. All right, so let's talk about the Julius Randle of it all, because full disclosure, as the ads were going, we're running, the amount of Julius Randle, like Spurs throw up a shot, careens off the rim, and Spurs like get a late offensive rebound or like poke it out and then add to their possession, and like Randle just kind of stood there was kind of shocking for game 3 of a playoff. Like if it's a game in March, like March 1st game, and they don't have anything to play for, like fair. You don't want to get your cardio in, like I get it. But like he was in foul trouble all game. Offensively, really tough, 3 of 12. He had no assists, which is insane for Julius. And then he also had five fouls, again, in foul trouble, most of it, and 2 turnovers. I mean, it just, like this was the culmination of, I think, of everyone's concerns all season of just like, what if this were to happen in the playoffs? And he didn't have a good game 2 either. So now it's kind of 2 games in a row where you're getting like a regular season Julius Randle. And it was crushing today. It was just crushing.
Yeah, I mean, he's as big of a culprit. Like they just, obviously, I think Rudy is your second best or most valuable player, whatever word. But like offensively, obviously, it's Julius is your number 2, and it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough, and we got months. We got months to talk about trading this dude.
Yep.
And that'll be the
that'll be the entire offseason.
That'll be the entire offseason, and it's going to be complicated because the Wolves don't have like this asset trove. They can't just dump Julius just to like trade for some like starting caliber guard or whatever. Like, while that makes, like, they need to whatever value he has, which he should have some, like he could be a starting caliber player on a team that, but like if the Wolves just lose him for little to no value, like that's not good. Like this team is kind of walking a tightrope, especially like his salary is sizable, so you'd like to get someone to fill that salary at a good level, but it just wasn't good enough in this game. Like you mentioned, 0 assists is just like, how many times
That's killer.
We never really saw it past like November or December, but like how many like triple double type games did he have? And that was driving the Wolves winning. We just haven't seen that since the first portion of the season. And the 0 assists, I don't know. Was Finch asked about Julius after the game?
No.
Well, you know why that is?
They asked about Julius and Nas's foul trouble, and Finch kind of went into how they weren't good enough tonight. And then it was also a quick Finch press conference. I think it was only like 6 minutes or something like that, which it is what it is.
It wouldn't have mattered if people asked about Julius because Finch would have deflected. That's what he's done this entire season.
Yeah.
And that's his prerogative, and certainly he has a better idea of what to do with Julius. But I remember in game 1 when he had a similar game, and I asked about out in Denver, I said, Julius didn't have an assist of the fourth quarter. Does he need to have better ball movement? And Finch immediately answered, everyone needs to have better ball movement. And it's just like, what?
It is interesting, like with the Julius of it all, because I think, again, like we watch the games, we have eyes. Film session is not going to be fun for Julius tomorrow, because if they don't have an entire montage of Julius's mistakes, like everyone else on the team is going to get pissed, because no one likes to be like outed for their miscues when someone else isn't getting outed. So like I would tend to believe that like behind closed doors, Julius is going to have a tough day tomorrow. That being said, like no assists and you play 32 minutes and you are the second. He probably had like, if in terms of like time touched ball, probably the second most. He goes minus 11, second worst on the team. Again, bad shooting night. And it is interesting that like if Ant were to have that, or Rudy were to have that, or TJ or anyone else, it would have been a talking point. But because it's Julius, it's very interesting. I also, like you mentioned, how many triple-double games have we had since like that December time? Honestly, since he started getting floated in trade rumors, he's been terrible. Like he has not been even an above average starter. And I do wonder if that plays some of this in there, is just, I mean, he has to know that he's the piece that gets moved, right? Like, is there just a part of him that's just kind of like throw his hands up and like, screw it?
I get that. And would never underplay like the toll that takes on an NBA player. He's got a family. Like, I'm sure like they don't want to move. I 1000% get that. And I feel like an asshole, but like, I feel like I'm Don Draper. It's like, that's what the money's for.
Yep.
And that sucks. And that's awful. And even like, I'll get my union hat on here, and like they're underpaid. all the professional athletes, we all go to watch them, and they get like 50% isn't enough, not to mention the measly whatever percent the W gets. Like,
yeah, that we'll be talking about that all season. But
you want to talk fee?
I mean, we can at some point.
We can get people really riled up. But yeah, like I get that that's frustrating, but at a certain point, maybe if it's not even fair, but like get over it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they need him to be like an all-star caliber player to win this series, to win an OKC series. I mean, just not even close to that.
And that's the thing, is like, I tend to, I mean, again, like Julius is a nice guy. Enjoy talking to him. He's always been polite and nice by me. Game 3 of the playoffs, like you got to get an assist. You know what I mean? Like it was such an eye-opening kind of bad game. And as I think it was either Farah or Pack mentality, or someone said, like, when Rudy has a bad game like that, it was Pack mentality. You know, you can live with it because like Rudy's awesome on defense and does so many other things to clean it up. When Julius has a bad game, it seems to almost like spiral into like, if shots aren't falling, the defense falls off. If the defense falls off, then it's like the energy and like running up the court falls off. And then it gets to a point where it is kind of like, I'm kind of surprised Finch went with him in the fourth quarter and didn't just go.
They don't have anyone else.
Just TJ, Nas, and a bunch of guards. Like it's. I keep kind of waiting for the can't remember who brought it up recently, but like I keep kind of waiting for the Jordan McLaughlin moment where like Finch is just like, screw it.
I don't think we're getting. I don't think we're.
But we haven't got it.
That'd be like bringing like. I don't think you're gonna get that. I think they're gonna ride or die with Julius, and
I
Seems
mean
like-
the play would be like Kyle is finishing a game, which like I don't know if you win a
That's
game.
a white flag.
I don't know if you win a game if Kyle's playing the last 10 minutes of a game, but like it just does seem like, you know, what is, if this is the Julius you're getting, I don't know if you win another game. Like Julius needs to be good.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's the big. They're just not good enough. Like it's just not good enough from him. It's not. It's one thing when the offense isn't going, but like the defensive lapses. They were down 2. Ant takes a bad shot, and the next possession, Brando gets beat backdoor when he's kind of trying to double Wemby, which is not. I have to imagine that's not the game plan. I'm sure the game plan is to have Rudy go one-on-one with Wemby defensively. It's just not. It's not good. A lot of this, it's the hardest point of like a franchise where it's like you have a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
You can still win this series. Like this series is not over, but like it's been the entire season. It's like just really hard to see this team winning 4 straight playoff series.
Yeah.
They have not performed consistently, and that while Julius is a big part of that,
A lot of other guys are part of that.
Honestly, it's their best player.
Yeah.
Their best player doesn't have that mentality, doesn't have like that night in, night out. Obviously like guys have crap games in the regular season all the time. Like I'm not asking for the February game in Utah to be a 60-point at night or whatever. But like it's really my bugaboo with this. It's like this San Antonio team won 60 games. Oklahoma City with their second best player, their third best, whatever
J-Dub is
whatever,
now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of their Julius equivalent or whatever missed the base more or less the entire season, and they won 65 games. Like the night to night consistency, and especially like the analytical mindset of, oh, you're gonna bring 2. I know I hit this person, and then we do this, we do that. It's just not there yet, and
that's the thing. Like the hope is it gets there soon. Like I do think this team has like an immaturity about them that's just interesting because like they're not rookies anymore. Like Ant is in his 6th season, Jaden's in his 6th season, like Nas is in his 7th. Like I love the narrative of like this is a young up and coming Timberwolves team. It's like no, they're here. Like this is it. They do need to get better at things, but like, you know, I do think having a different like leadership style next to Ant would be nice. Like Ant is a very good like hype up man. I think he's very good at like keeping it. But like when you have Ant next to Julius and Jaden as kind of your 3 best players, there's just not a lot of, I'm trying to think of how to word it, because like Jaden I think is a good like lead by example guy, but also like I don't think Jaden's the guy that's just gonna like grab you by your collar and like scream at you. Julius is just very quiet. Like I don't think he does a lot of talking or encouraging. And then Ant is just like a puppy, right? Like he's just high energy, seems happy-go-lucky all the time. Like you need like a Kyle Anderson personality, but like infused into Julius of that talent level, I think, next to Ant, which I see people are screaming for Kyrie in the chat. Like
Julius for Kyrie can't be a trade. I get that in the short term, it makes your team better. But like that means you traded Cat for Kyrie and Dante. Like you're just running out of assets.
Yeah.
This team needs to get better. And I agree with you that like switching Julius out for a better locker room or a better leadership fit would help. But ultimately, and I really think this is what it all comes down to with the Wolves. I think we're all kind of we want the Wolves to win a single title. We're not asking for a dynasty. We're not at like that's what this is all building towards.
Yeah.
Is can they hit that mountaintop or are they going to come up just short? And look, these past 3 years, and it's not over yet. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
These last 3 years have been incredible basketball. 5 years. This is the whole playoff stretch. It's all going to come down to me, can Ant get there? And it's really just it's like all the mental stuff. And tonight's probably a bad example of this because he was fine.
He was awesome. Like Ant was awesome.
But like
I had no criticism of Ant.
But bigger picture tonight
regular
is that
season.
He just doesn't quite get it. And that's going to be it. And maybe my worry, think about Wemby, is like it might come too late because like this guy's coming. The Spurs or the OKC isn't getting worse, and like these past 3 years where it has been more wide open might have been the shot, but that's probably it's probably too big picture for a game 3 loss, right?
Well, I mean the thing I like appreciate about it is because like you're right. The Wolves are starting to look like a team that might not be like the NBA always has like dynasties kind of rolling throughout the background, right? Like Oklahoma City, I think, has set themselves up to be in the conversation for the next like 5 or 6 years. The Spurs are going to be in the conversation for the next 5 or 6 years. Even if Denver blows up everything, they're still going to be in the conversation for the next year or two. Boston's going to be there. Detroit's going to be there. Like there's going to be 5 or 6 teams that are like at the Wolves
Indiana
level.
depending on the lottery.
Depending on the lottery, and Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles, like there's gonna be teams that are really, really good and potentially better than the Wolves. So like, what can the Wolves do to like beat that? And I do think there is like an opportunity of like, can Jaden's been awesome these playoffs. Like, can he carry that over into a full regular season and be like a borderline all-star guy? Can Ant level off can Nas level off the consistency and stop having so many peaks and valleys in a season and be like a legit number 4 or 5 guy on a team? Like, if you move Randall, I'm honestly still more into like the moving Randall for just like smart assets. Like if you're not getting a star back for him, like get a young player that you feel might be something 2 years from now and just build. But the issue I think is it does always kind of end on Ant. Like if Ant is going to be a top 5 guy in the league, like you got to get yourself a 2 seed.
He's not. I think that's like he's not one of the 5 best players in the league right now. The guys that'll finish top 4 in the MVP this year and Giannis are all better than he is.
Yeah.
And
I would say Wemby this season, I think I would put ahead of, I've been really bullish on like Tatum needs to be ahead of Ant, and I've had Ant like sitting at the 6th spot. I think I'm okay saying like, okay, Tatum wasn't very good like in the playoffs.
He was hurt
and like everything. Like I'll put Tatum below, but like I honestly think I'd put Wemby ahead now. Like he has shown something incredible. So like if Ant wants to get into that place, honestly, you need to get a 1 or a 2 seed. Like you can't go through this gauntlet in the playoffs. It's insane.
I mean, this regular season was especially pre the injuries that started to pile up. Like it was horseshit. Finch said it. Like Finch said they didn't take it seriously.
Yeah,
he is the fatal flaw of this team, and it's probably a bad time to talk about this because it's not why they lost this game. None of this big picture stuff is why they lost this game. It's more just like it's what I keep coming back to, and I get they need to trade Julius, they need to have a better number 2, but it's like the whole thing comes down to can Ant just get it. And I get the optimism that he will. It's just like he's also. I think there should be pessimism there too, and that'll be the fun of it to figure out where it goes.
And I think that's how it is with most generational superstars. Like
he's got a little bit more of I don't even know.
I think there's like again like if we went back to like 24-year-old Kobe, right? Like after Shaq left and they kind of chose Kobe over Shaq, like there was a lot of questions around like, is Kobe mature enough? Can he play with anybody? Like, is he just a selfish player? Like he ran Shaq out of here. Even when Shaq was like leaving Orlando, it was can he win it? He got knocked out by the Bulls. Like Hakeem, before he went on his runs, it was like he's not able to compete with the other Western Conference bigs. Like, I do think there's always questions. I think the interesting thing with Ant is like he does have the potential to start a dynasty here. It's just, his over or under career championships is probably like 1.5, and I'd probably take the under with what we've seen so far. And like, he's under contract here and what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, off-season stuff, we'll have all off-season to talk about. I do want to finish just on the officiating tonight. Like, what in the world?
I thought the Tony Brothers thing is just like unacceptable.
It's insane.
Like, here's the thing here.
And before we get into it, I am going to preface the officiating was bad for both teams. Like, the inconsistencies of the calls for both teams is insane. Like, the fact that one thing is a foul and then 3 minutes later it's no longer a foul and Jaden can just like shove Wemby in the back as hard as he can and like knock him down and no one cares. And then 3.5 minutes later it's a foul again. Like, both teams, it was atrocious for. But like, what is happening?
Yeah, I did the consistency of calls was bad, but the Tony Brothers thing where he's like lunging at Finch like Jokic did against Jaden is like, that's just insane. It's unprofessional. And I think I wasn't in the pressers, but I think Finch said as much.
Unprofessional. Yep,
Unprofessional.
That's the title of this pod. Unprofessional.
That's not like, look, guys apparently don't get suspended in the playoffs for throwing heat packs and towels at officials and onto the court. So like, I'm not expecting Tony Brothers to like that's suspension worthy. Like that's not looking at that. That's not someone that should be officiating playoff games. And there's a good chance and maybe even a likely chance that Finch said something disrespectful or untoward towards Tony Brothers. And if you want to, like, that's a fair criticism or whatever. And like, don't do that, I guess. But like, your job as an official is to not escalate. And if he does say something like that, then tee him up. But you don't, like, he had to be held back by Wolves players.
By Pablo. Shout out Pablo and Bones holding back Tony Brothers from taking his swing.
And it's a especially bad look after the whole discourse after the Laker Thunder game is just how crappy the officials are. And they missed the goal. I thought it was insane they didn't call goaltending on Wemby's first block.
On Jaden, yeah.
Yeah, it just was very clearly coming down. So
also, all three coaches challenged. Was it coaches went 3 for 3 on challenges?
No, the Spurs lost one.
Oh, the Spurs lost one. So it was 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3. Whatever. Finch won both of his. It does.
That's 2 a.m.
But like, the consistency is always going to be the thing that is the most frustrating to me, and like the amount of foul calls. And when you have over a foul a minute, like you can't get flow. Like that's why both teams kind of sucked on offense for most of the game. And then on the other side of it, like, again, it's like, if you're going to call a tight game, call it tight so that players can kind of adjust and figure out like what the rules are. You can't just like flip flop back and forth. Like, that's how you get Jaden punching Castle. That's how you get Tony Brothers lunging at Finch. Like, it's my biggest complaint in WNBA, NBA,
the W refs are way worse, man. They're so bad.
It's they're bad, but it's like in the same way where it's just consistency. And honestly, the Spurs could come into their post-game media and be like, we would have won by like 25 if the refs called a better game.
It's not
honestly, the Wolves could have said it too. Like, to me, it's the principle. Like, how are we in a year where there's like facial recognition and body movement software monitoring jump shots and practice facilities, but we can't get like a consistent whistle in a playoff game?
Because they're not incentivized to fix it, at least not yet. Like, it's kind of the baseball umpires were the same way before they did the robot umpires. Like, they just every umpire would call everything half an inch off the plate a strike, and it yanks down all the offensive stats because like the pitchers get a half a ball off the edge of the plate. It's kind of the same thing. Like, are they calling I'm almost every call you can find a justification for, right? Yep. It's just like, sometimes it feels like they're using the letter of the law. Sometimes they're using street rules. Like, yeah, I agree on the officiating. Aside from the Tony Brothers thing, that's insane. But like,
I don't think it won or lost either team a game, but
it might have not. It's
just
whether
the principle of it.
It could have cost the Timberwolves the game if you Zabrudered it and looked at every single call. It's more that like it's not worth it to pull out the Zabruder film and go, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an interesting beyond what we talked about is fine, obviously, but like who knows if it did or not. And so yeah, the flopping is just like
the flopping is insane.
From the 7'6" guy who scored 39 points.
That was obnoxious.
Well, you see, nothing was as bad as Chet's in game 2 of that. Like,
I mean, I will say my complaints with officiating is less as a like this team or that team got screwed, and as like a basketball fan who is privileged enough to be able to like write and talk about it and make some sort of living off of that. Like, I just want to watch fun basketball. And like, it sucks. It sucks when there's a foul every 50 seconds. I think it messes with players and like their rhythm. And again, like when Tony Brothers is wanting to fight Chris Finch, who might be one of the nicest humans on the planet, like there's an issue. Like there's just an issue. Anyways, Ryan, we've talked enough. And now everybody's talking about Wemby flopping, which Pack Mentality, Farah, Godfrey, all of you guys that have been in here for a while. Appreciate you as always. Ryan, where can people find you and when is your podcast coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, Canis Hoopus for the words, and then 2 Words Wolves Pod recorded with Andrew Carlson before this. That'll be up in the morning.
Perfect. If you joined this one a little bit late and want to listen to it for some reason at 2 a.m. in the morning, it is up on YouTube and X as soon as I end the stream. Come out as a podcast tomorrow at 7 wherever you listen. I will be back tomorrow after the Lynx game for any Lynx fans in here. We'll see what that looks like without Fee.
Things are going great.
With no Dorka and with everyone.
Nothing is wrong.
Everything in everywhere. We'll see where that goes, though. But
the meme of the dog on fire. This is fine.
I still think they're going to be good. It's going to be interesting. But we'll be back for any Wolves fans. We'll be back Sunday post game. Benny Hughes, your colleague over at Canis, is going to be hopping on. So we'll have fun with that one.